But first, it is time for the hot topic of the hour. President Trump's approval rating ticking up in a new poll, despite the government shutdown dragging into week 4. A new survey from Reuters and Ipsos shows 42% of Americans approve of the president's performance. That's up 2 points from a survey just earlier this month. 56% disapprove. And in that same poll, 50% of Americans blame congressional Republicans for the shutdown. 43% blame the Democrats. And then 7% just skipped the question. Several Democratic governors and potential Democratic nominees for 2028, that presidential race, under fire for using their state websites to blame Republicans for the shutdown. This includes Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro, Illinois' J.B. Pritzker, and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Tiana, and I saw that it was over the SNAP benefits that Josh Shapiro was using on the website. But what do you make of that, the fact that people are saying we approve of President Trump, but they're dinging the Republicans for the shutdown more than Democrats in that poll?
But the margins have actually gotten better, though, for Republicans. When this shutdown first started, which, again, it was Chuck Schumer that shut down the government, right, not the Republicans. They passed Biden-era spending packages. Initially, almost all of the blame was going to the Republicans. Over time, Democrats have gotten more of the blame, right? It should be 100%, but the fact that it's trending in the right direction is a good sign for Republicans. In part, it's because there's no pressure from the Republican base. Only 1/3 of Republicans told Associated Press poll that they think the shutdown's a big deal. 2/3 of Democrats are saying it's a crisis, right? And remember, Schumer has shut down the government for a fraction of the 7% of Americans that get these elevated emergency Biden-era ACA subsidies for people making 6 figures up to $500,000. They've shut down 100% of the government for fewer than 7% of Americans.
Yeah, no, and you've pointed out that just extending the Biden ACA subsidies is a $450 billion price tag.
Yeah, and that translates to higher interest rates, higher mortgage rates, right? Not just the national deficit, but what you pay at home. And that's why Republicans, Teflon Don it's part of just Trump's personality, and I think 10 years of calling him Orange Hitler has kind of backfired, but also the fact that real Americans are benefiting from one big, beautiful bill, and they're seeing it. And we've seen, as we've talked about all morning long, that 10-year Treasury yield going below 4%. I think that is a sign in the fiscal competence of the Trump administration.
That's such a good sign. I'm glad you brought that up again. That is such a big development this morning for the markets, Luke. But, going back to this ACA issue, and this is something else, that Tiana points out, 7% of Americans overall get these subsidies. So you're basically holding the entire government hostage, the Democrats are, over a small percentage and over something that was supposed to be temporary. I mean, Biden, those subsidies were supposed to end in the Biden presidency, and they just kept getting extended because, I don't know, when people see free money, like Chuck Schumer. And by the way, that is big for New York State. He's looking at his own state.
This is out of the playbook of the art of the deal. I mean, I talked about how art of the deal applies to China tariffs. Art of the deal applies to negotiations in Congress. The ACA enrollment, like you mentioned, starts November 1st. They're trying to reach an agreement by November 1st, or the premiums increase. SNAP benefits end by November 1st if a deal is not reached. So that impacts a lot of people that are mainly probably Democratic in nature, a lot of ways, because they are living on some of those benefits that the government gives out. So this is in the Democrats' court, and they have to make a decision quick.
Yeah, well, all they are doing right now, this is Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, is saying they want to talk to President Trump. President Trump says, no, unless you open the government, then I'll talk to you.